love that intro. The song is just fucking awesome. Evil, malice, death, decay. I think you'll find they're here to stay. Oh, that's a... I like that. Anyways, how's it going, YouTube? This is the Ninja Stalker here, and I'm here doing another Let's Play on Dungeon Keeper 1. I think it came out... You know what? I don't even know when it came out. I wanted to say 95, but it could have been available for Windows 95. I don't know when it came out. I'm not too familiar with the history. I mean, I look it up on my phone here real quick. Okay. Guess it's gonna do that shit while I'm looking it up. Let's go over here. Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeon Keeper. Here we go. Because, you know, Wikipedia, pretty good. Dungeon Keeper, let's see, developed Bullfrog Productions, the same people, I believe, who made the Harry Potter games, which I thought was weird that they went from this to that. I've never played the Harry Potter games, so some of you guys probably know, oh, the Harry Potter games are pretty good. Published by EA. Yay. Oh boy. Let's see. Series Dungeon Keeper. They were gonna make a 3, I believe, but they never got to it. We don't need to watch that again. They did make a Dungeon Keeper 2. Release date June 26, 1997. So it's that old. I never played it. I never played the game then. I've played it like maybe. Let's see, before I started college is when I started playing this game. A friend of mine gave me the disc. I played it and enjoyed this game thoroughly. It was awesome. Now, another individual who does a Let's Play on this, I mean, there are a bunch of others, but one that I subscribe to is an individual called Maxman101. He has a Let's Play of like, I think 87 videos on Dungeon Keeper 1, and he did a Let's Play of Dungeon Keeper 2, and I think that one was 67 videos, and they're all pretty good. If you like these kind of games, they're pretty good. You'll enjoy yourself, because he's a great commentator, he's funny, he does the game, it's pretty good, you know. Well, I don't want to say pretty good, like, oh yeah, you know, it's pretty good, it could have been better. No, like, pretty good to me is like, it's damn good, it's exciting, it's great, so you'll enjoy yourself. I want to do a Let's Play because I watched his videos, and not that I'm trying to compare myself to him, but I wanted to do one too because I saw how much fun he was having. I watched the game, made me wish I had the game and played it some more, and I found the game. So when I installed it, I have to use DOSBox. That's why the setup looks like this. With my Shadow Play, I have it on desktop capture, and well, we got it like this. I'm hoping if it works further past this that we are able to save the games, go back in the DOSBox if I, you know, leave the game for the day, go back to it another day, and it'll remember where I saved off, because I think I had a problem with that in the past with DOSBox, that it won't remember save games. Hopefully that won't be an issue. I'm just going through right now, and it's kind of freezing. Alright, so setup's alright, I guess. Let's just jump into it, shall we?
Ever smile. Set in the realm of joy, the people of Ever Smile are plagued only by aching facial muscles.
Oh my goodness,
and not anthrax as we had hoped. Ever Smile is a disgusting land of good humor and polite frivolity.
Alright, that was our, like, what do you want to call him? The guy who, like, tutors us or whatever, our mentor, dungeon master or whatever. We're going to start with the tutorial. Been a very long time since I played this game. I want to get into it, so I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay, page up, page down, delete, and home, all that other jazz. So, back out. In my other Let's Plays, I had, like I mentioned, problems with recording graphical issues I was having with Shadow Play to YouTube. In this, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue because, I mean, this is like, what, 640 by 480 or whatever? Maybe 800 by 600, so it shouldn't be an issue. So let's go ahead and start. The first thing a keeper needs is somewhere to keep gold. Alright, so yeah, that makes sense. When it's been mined out of the rock by Zimps to create a treasure room, select the treasure room icon from the room panel and fill it. Excuse me. Oh god. I'm not dying. Alright, so these are my imps. You start off with 3 to 4 depending on the level, and this is the gold that they were talking about, gold seams, gold mines, source of wealth in the game. And there's also another kind of wealth that you can collect, and it's gems. Gems are a infinite renewable resource, while these, once you dig them out, that's it. But these you can mine out faster than gems, and these give you more than gems in one lump sum, I believe. We have our first room that we can create, which is the treasure room. With Maxman 101, I've seen and noticed that he likes to click on this and create the treasure room and put it all around the dungeon heart. This, by the way, is your dungeon heart. If this gets destroyed, game over for you. Start the level over, or contemplate life as you got destroyed. I mean, it's probably going to happen to me, and I need to contemplate a lot, but you know what I'm trying to say. Don't let this get destroyed. In Dungeon Keeper 2, this looks very different. A lot of things actually ends up being changed and different from Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2. In my personal opinion, Dungeon Keeper 1, I think, is better. But there were some things in Dungeon Keeper 2 that I liked that Dungeon Keeper 1 didn't have. So yeah, let's get started. We are... Oh yeah, and that's one thing I missed on Dungeon Keeper 2, that you can like click, hold, and drag areas that you can dig. In this, you have to click and hold and do like single tiles at a time. So you should build a treasure room first off. Select the treasure room from the rooms panel. Let's click on the tiles. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Not what I wanted, but this is just the first level, so it's not meant to be tough. What I plan on doing is letting them cut the gold out, and once you start claiming the land, this is not putting treasure room left. I know that. Okay, this is kind of moving fast. I'm gonna change something here. Let's see what we do. This. No, that's not it. So this. I guess I'll just have to deal with it. Alright, now it costs 50 for treasure rooms, and as you progress on further, they get more costly. Certain ones of these are more costly than others, but I believe that when I last played, it gets more expensive the more you go down this way. So. With the treasure room, if you have gold on the ground and you just make a treasure room on top of that gold, the gold will automatically be set in the treasure room, and your imps do not have to go and pick it up and put it in. I don't need anything there. Keeper, no. Whatever. One thing you could do with your imps is to make them work faster or harder or whatever, you can slap them. They will lose a little bit of health, but they will run faster, they will work faster, harder, and it only lasts for a certain amount of time, and then you have to re-slap them again. I don't do that. I am not that kind of dungeon keeper. I trust my imps. I trust my creatures. We're gonna make a lair. Tunnel? Yeah, I already know that. Alright, so we got a small lair. This is too small for me. I'll probably increase this. Go out one more. I'm doing this to reinforce the walls along the area. That's how I generally play my Dungeon Keeper games. I'm very, very defensive. It takes me, for any kind of games that are like this, was it strategy games, point-and-click strategy games and all that, like Red Alert, for example, Red Alert games, I always play very defensive. I don't really ever work on offensive, which is a problem, but to me, a good offense is a very strong defense. And if you make one strong enough, your defense strong enough, you can then have like a really good offense where you can send your offensive plays out while you're repelling their offensive plays, and they just become weakened at that time. Problem is, it's a very slow game style, very slow play, but it works for me. Let's see what we have here. We got information panel. This is time for payday. It's 0, so you don't have to worry. Your imps, your little minions, your little creatures are imps. They don't cost anything. They don't eat anything. Well, I mean, they do cost gold to create, but you don't have to pay them, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, you pay for, like, I guess, like, what, the down payment of having an imp, but then that's it. We have 2 structures so far, or 2 rooms, which is the lair and the treasure room. We have no creatures at this point, because imps do not count as creatures. Chicken mode, flea. 2 things we can create. We can't create imps, so they made sure for the tutorial level we don't do that, but one of the spells that we have is Possessed Creature. Cranium Internal. I don't know if that's supposed to be like Latin or some form close to Latin or something, just for fun, but Cranium Internal. I like the way whoever it is that says this stuff, that voice, whoever does it, pretty damn good. That's very iconic to me. And with this spell, you basically can click on a minion or a creature, go into its mind, and you can control it from there. So that. Oh, we have inverted. It's inverted. I don't like that. Wait, how do I move forward? What is this? I have to use the arrow keys? Oh, come on. I need to fix that. I'll fix it after this level. To exit out, you just right click. And you can do that for any of your creatures. Now, some creatures get really annoyed when you do that to them. When you, like, take over their bodies and use their bodies to do whatever you want to do. They will get annoyed. And in this game, creatures that get annoyed, it's somewhat difficult to please them back to happiness. Easiest way to do it, as Maxman101 said in his Let's Plays, is you can throw money at them. You can grab a little bit of this, toss it their way, they'll become happy. That'll fix them up some of the ways. For creatures like the Reaper, the Horn Reaper, as you saw in the intro video, the creature that killed the knight, that's pretty much the only way to please him. And if he gets really pissed off, the money is really not going to help. You're kind of screwed. You get more and a bunch of other spells, and they all cost something. This one doesn't cost anything. The benefits of this is you can do certain things faster for creatures when you control them than they would if you left them alone. So for the imps, for example, if you control them in their minds, you can dig faster, you can claim land faster, but you won't be able to fortify your walls, pick up bodies, drag them to graveyards, or a bunch of other stuff. Workshops, if you build a workshop, you can create certain things from the workshops depending on the level and what you know for the workshop. And here's all the creatures that you would have. On the side, we have imps only. 2 of them aren't doing anything, 1 of them's working. And this is for fighting, so if they're in fight, if they're engaged in melee. So, here. Done with that. Now we can go over here, dig that out. I like the sounds of their little pitter-patter when they're running. And you see there how there's 3 of them to a wall. I don't think you can have any more than 3 imps to a wall that are destroying or cutting the walls or whatever. Okay, so you see him dancing there. He's trying to claim this. He's trying to claim the portal. We have an entrance. Entrance has been claimed. First minion has arrived. It's a giant fly. Flies are weak, even if you get them to level 10. They're still pretty weak, and what they enjoy doing, what benefits them for your dungeon, is they are fast, and they love to scout around and look for places that you haven't already discovered. Sometimes that gets them into a lot more trouble than they're worth. They'll get in the fights, they'll stay in fights, and they'll eventually die on you. Okay, so it's telling us that we need to make a hatchery because our creatures, these new creatures, any creatures that come from the portal, must feed. They have hunger, they will eat, they need some food. Decent sized hatchery. Depending on the size of your hatchery is how many little things of chicken will pop out of the ground, and in this game, chicken eggs pop out of the ground. Go figure. And depending on the size is how many that'll come out. Certain creatures in your dungeon that'll enter your dungeon and realm will eat more than others. Bile demons eating like 6 chickens at a time. If you have a lot of bile demons, they can really take out on your hatchery. When you get creatures coming in from the portal, they first go to your dungeon heart to become part of your dungeon, to get like a mark or a claim to join your dungeon, to become the color that your dungeon is, so red, so you get like a red puff cloud above them, and then they'll go over here. You could make it faster. As Maxman 101 said, you pick them up from the portal if you're in a hurry, drop them over to the lair, and they'll automatically become part of your dungeon. The other creature we picked up is a fly, or a beetle. This is a fly lair. I thought this was a fly's lair. These are the fly's lairs. That's the beetles' lairs. Beetles are a little stronger and more durable than flies, but they are overall still weak creatures to have in your dungeon. In later levels, you won't see them a whole lot. For now, in early levels, though, you'll get them. Go ahead and make this before they starve. Right, imps fortify your walls, prevent intruders from tunneling in. Yep, but I think for this level, they will automatically tunnel in here instead of like out here to try and come in, and it'll be a big fight. As you can see, the flies are over here just trying to scout around, but this is like the furthest away that they can get from the place. We can create more imps. I'll go ahead and show you. It costs 600 at first. It's 600 for anything past 3 imps. So, for example, I would assume if you started off with 2 imps, the imp cost would probably be maybe 5 something. Since you have 3 imps, it's going to cost you 600 for the 4th imp, maybe 600 something for the 5th, maybe 700 something for the 5th imp. it'll increase every time. So the more imps you have, the more it's going to cost you. There, see, so 750 for the 5th imp, and it'll increase like that. This is in the entire map. Oh, okay, so they won't spawn in here. I thought they did. Sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. For this level, I think they will always start out here. I just assumed they would be here. Again, it's been a while since I played this game. So they're trying to tunnel in, but they won't tunnel in because I have given my imps plenty of time to fortify. Not only that, I was spending time commentating on certain things, and they don't show up until you get past a certain spot in this game where you build certain things and all that. Unless it is timed and I happen to just beat it in the nick of time. So, it's whatever. So we have 2 flies, 3 beetles. I think that's all we'll get for this level. Even if I made the layer bigger, that's all we would get. Yeah, because the green, I think, is how many creatures we have. I don't know what the white is. I think the white is if an enemy imp was to come over here and try to claim this for his dungeon. The white would be that. How long it takes to claim. And the red, I think that's like the overall health. I don't remember it. I know these 3 are significant for something, but okay, we just got another beetle coming in, I think. So, nope, never mind. It was 2 and 3. I think this is all we'll get. In certain cases, depending on the size of your lair, is how many creatures will come out of the portal. And then, however many portals you have can also determine how many creatures will come in at a time. So, there's that. Let's go ahead and meet them here. I want the enemy to come in on the lair where all these guys are sleeping or resting. See, we have a beetle who's hungry right now. He's gonna pick up some chickens.
You have tunneled into a new area. Your creatures are under attack.
Alright.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
Everybody. Fuck him up. You can also fight better and faster depending on how your personal preference and skill is in the game with the creatures if you control them personally. You can even make imps fight pretty well if you can just like click on them. Like, let's see. Click. You can probably like do something like this, attack, back up, attack, back up, attack, back up. But since imps aren't that powerful, their attacks won't be that strong. If you get them to level 10, they might be able to do something, but it depends on you. Like if you prefer to let them attack, or you want to take over and you can probably do a better job than them. Like an example would be like the dragon. There are creatures in this. What? Where? It didn't. Maybe walls that are in conjunction with my fortified walls, but they can't break through. They don't. Not at this level.
Your creatures are under attack.
Go, my little creatures, go. You see, this guy's not fighting. That's because this enemy has already enough of my guys attacking him, so he would just jump up and down cheering my teammates on. I don't know if that has any real effect on the fight. I would like to think it does. You know, you cheer up players. He's like the hype man. He's jumping up and down like, oh yeah, fuck him up, you know, kill him. Red team rules. I'd like to think that does something. I'm not 100% sure though. You saw earlier when they died, they dropped bags of money. My imps, when there's enough time, they'll run by and pick up the bag of money themselves, and then they will send it to the...
creatures are attacking the enemy. Your creatures are falling in battle.
Damn it, he killed one. They'll go ahead and pick up the gold and send it to the treasure room. they will not keep any gold. If you just so happen to see one of your imps die and bags of money pop out of him, it's not because he was hoarding the money or keeping it for himself. He had a job where he was supposed to pick up the gold and send it over here. In every level, there will be a knight or a lord of the land for you to kill, and if you kill him, you can move on to the next level.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
That sucks. But I mean, like, you're killing flies. That's no plus, you know. There's nothing to be gloating about. Yeah. So as creatures die, the ones who are jumping around, being the hype guy, will run in and take over, while any leftovers will back up and say, "Okay, you know, it's fine."
Minions are winning a battle. You have conquered this realm.
Look at that. Well, okay, so that's pretty much it. This level's done with. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about dragons. In this game, there are creatures called dragons, and if you control them, well, if you don't control them, they have a primary attack that is a flame breath, a flamethrower. It's a fire attack. When you let them control themselves, they shoot it like in increments of like 2 or 3 seconds, then they stop and shoot it again. If you control them with this spell, you can actually spam that attack by holding the mouse button down, and it'll shoot out like a constant flamethrower, and that'll do more damage than what they do on their own. So, yeah, there's bodies laying around. We can't do anything about that until we have the ability to create create graveyards. They'll come in, pick them up, take them to the graveyard. Or I think if imprisonment is on, you can sometimes pick up your creatures and send them back to your lair so that they can heal and recover and come back into the fight. I don't know if that's if you have imprisonment on. That's if they have imprisonment on, and if your imps are fast enough to recover your downed creatures. But as you just saw, if you let enough time go by, they will disappear. Having dead bodies around in your dungeon is a good thing or a bad thing for certain creatures of your own dungeon, and for certain creatures of the other dungeon of enemy AI. Some creatures like when there's a lot of dead bodies all over the place. Others, they don't like it. They'll get annoyed by it. They might, I don't want to say get scared, but they'll sometimes leave your dungeon to go somewhere else because, you know, you're leaving a mess everywhere. You're leaving dead bodies, and it's kind of bad. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the next level. Yeah, so you hit space to move on. Statistics.
Hawk. War and anthrax have taken to this land like fleas to a rat. The region is, thanks to your unstinting efforts, now a major eyesore.
Okay. I came in 8th? Oh man, that sucks. That sucks. Alright.
Cozyton, a hideous sham of a town in which the prosperous citizens have no gripes or moans. Sadly, even the children are happy and secure. This is because they are punished for non-existent crimes.
There. This time, okay. And we already get the 2 spells that we had from the last level. This doesn't happen all the time. Like, these ones you will always have, but in later levels, you'll sometimes be given certain spells automatically for that level, and then the next level you play, you won't have it again. For spells, you need a library to learn all that is available. Now, in certain levels, you're not going to be able to learn all that's available. Like on here, you won't be able to learn all that's available. You know, just certain ones that are available for that level is what I'm trying to say. We start off with 2,500. Like, not $2,500, but like 2,500 worth of gold. So I don't want to. They run around reinforcing the dungeon. Yeah, they fortified the dungeon. I was gonna say, for imps, when they get injured, if they are just slacking around doing this, doing nothing, sometimes they will smoke a fatty, or they'll smoke something. To me, they look like they're smoking a fatty, but they're probably smoking like a cigarette or something, and they gain health or something. Yeah, so let's see, where are we at? A whole lot of gold here. Let's go over there. Also, if you dig out about and adventure around, you will sometimes find secrets out here. Maxman 101 does a great job locating them all. I haven't been able to find stuff. Like, I can hear something out here. It could just be water dripping from the ceiling hitting the hitting the floor, or there could be a creature out here walking about. But you can find secrets. You can find these little treasures of the realm, like transfer creatures, increase levels, fortify dungeon walls, and all that other stuff. Let's see. Let's go for this. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go for both. So it's just which one I want to go for first. You know what? Come down here. Fix that. I like to create a lot of imps. There'll be times in later levels where you'll see I have like 20 imps, 40 imps, 50 imps. To me, the more imps you have, the faster things get done. They'll defend up your dungeon. They'll pick things up a lot faster and consistently when you have a whole lot of them. I mean, to me, it's a great thing to have like 50 imps going back and forth, picking up gold and stuff, especially from like gem seams and gold seams and stuff. Pretty good. I like my imps. I like my imps. I get super annoyed when one of them dies or they disappear or something. As you can see, they cannot fortify walls where the gold is. It has to be normal rock.
Must be the treasure to store gold.
If you do not build a treasure room, they can't exactly cut out or dig out any more gold. I mean, they can, but I think it'll be much slower, and the gold will just drop right there where they dug it out. So that's why you saw like a whole bunch of them at one point just went straight for the treasure room to drop stuff off to come back over here and start digging some more. a certain, maybe OCD or something about having things look a certain way. Where one side looks one way, I gotta make the other side look the other way, because it will annoy me. Uh-oh, we got an opening here, that's not good. Let's have 4 more. Get a 10. Yes, 10. I don't think we need any more than 10. Yeah, I like to, you know about that. You'll see that I like to have things symmetrical and all that other stuff. Oh, give me a moment. My cat's trying to leave the room. He needs help opening the door.
Subway over there.
Alright, let me just finish this.
Yeah,
I'm good. Cool. That was my father. In case you were wondering. Okay, so they went ahead and claimed this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this real quick because I don't want my father waiting. Let's go here. Do that. Claim that. Here. That. That. That would be a good size for a hatchery.
Has been claimed.
Entrance has been claimed.
You need to build a lair for your creatures.
Lair for your creatures. Guy's got a... That's like an iconic voice. That is so cool. Especially whenever he says the spells, the spell names. I mean, to me, that's like... What was the guy's name who does the voice for that PS1 game? What is it? Medal of Honor for the PlayStation 1, the first Medal of Honor. That General? Or was it Colonel? What was the name of that? I think he's like a Scottish voice actor, or is it something like that? Well, that guy's voice, pretty, you know, that guy's got a pretty iconic voice too, you know, so. Right, there's that. Escapes in Virtual Hatchery. Oh, training. Where do I want the training? Maybe next to the food and the lair. How about that? a decent sized trainer. Oh, Leo, what's up? What do you want? Yeah? Productivity. You. I could kill you. But I won't. Now, creating a training room will attract certain creatures. Creating any room in the Dungeon Keeper series will attract certain creatures, or at least I know for this one. And the training room will bring in like demon spawns, maybe some other creatures. I know the hatchery, you need, well, the hatchery will bring in like the bile demons and stuff. Yep, there it is, demon spawn. They love training, that's what they go for. They have problems with other creatures, so that's the other thing in this game. Certain creatures have a dislike towards other creatures. And I think the demon spawns do not like the hounds, I think. And then on top of that, certain creatures also don't like certain rooms, or won't work in certain rooms. So like a demon spawn, I don't think will work in the library. I think, but you get what I'm trying to say. Certain rooms, certain creatures won't do anything or like about. And other creatures, once they're in their rooms that they prefer, sometimes they don't like certain creatures running through. So like the library, for example, I think we might make that the next level. You get creatures called warlocks who are attracted to the library. They absolutely hate it when creatures of lower level and creatures who don't know shit about intelligence or like the library running through. If they're a high enough level, they'll shoot fireballs and all other spells that they learn as they progress in level at the creatures who are running through. Which is another thing, in this game, when they go up levels, when the creatures go up levels, they learn new spells depending on the level and depending on the creature. So not every single level they're going to learn something. Sometimes they'll learn a spell the next level, and then the next level, but then the level after that they're not going to learn anything, but then the level after that they will learn something. So it's going to be like that. For the little chickens, you can like pick them up and drop them anywhere. Sometimes if you see like a creature at a distance away who's like really hungry, you can pick the chicken up, drop it near it, and it'll go ahead and eat it. Let me see if I can do it. There you go. Yep, see, you drop the chicken on this guy, he wasn't even hungry, he went ahead and ate it. That is sometimes helpful, depending on what you're trying to do. Like if you have a prison, if you created a prison and you have creatures in there starving, and let's say you feel merciful, you can pick a chicken up, drop it in there, they'll go ahead and eat it, and they'll gain a little bit of health because of it. I don't think there's no benefit to it, really. I mean, like, unless you don't have, like, a spell to heal them, you can just drop chickens in there and they'll go ahead and eat it. Let me see, so my imps went ahead and did that. Go ahead and mine that. Should be anything else to mine. Oh, there's the hero, so I can hear them walking now. Go ahead and let my imps hurry up and fortify the walls and dig that out. I was thinking about grabbing my imps and throwing them in the training room so they can train, because there are benefits for imps training. Higher levels, they get faster, they learn spells to be faster, they'll teleport once they're at level 10, back and forth from where they're digging, picking up stuff and going back. But, as I said earlier, I'd like to hurry up and get get this done and upload at a later point. My father would be with my father, so. Okay, so
You have traveled into a new area.
I have? What's that? Oh, wow. Lovely treasure. Okay, so yeah, the red is what it takes for imps to take over. Okay, and the green. Let's see, the green does what? The green's either the amount of stuff that's in it. What about this though? What is Okay, I think the white would be the fortified walls, and the green, no, that can't be. Maybe the white is the, fuck, I don't know. The green and white, I'm not sure what they are, but I know the red is what it takes to take it over, or the health of it, when someone's claiming it. Alright, let's go ahead and build there. Cut through there, and we'll have our flies just go right on through.
You have traveled into a new area.
Flies here in a little bit should just run right on through. There they come.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy. Your creatures are under attack. The enemy has broken through your walls. Your creatures are falling in battle.
Is that a thief? That's a thief.
Minions are winning a battle.
I hate
It
thieves.
is payday.
Thieves will go straight
Your creatures are under attack.
for your treasure room if you let them, and they will steal your treasures and your gold and all that. These other guys right here, they're tunnelers. I don't believe you see them again in Dungeon Keeper 2, but in this game they serve as imps for the heroes, but they're not as strong as imps. The good thing about the thieves, though, if you capture one and you let them get the level 10 and then let them train past that, they will become a level 3 knight, which would be like a nice, it's like a nice trade-off. It's like, oh, thieves, they're not exactly strong. Not exactly strong. They're a bit cowardly. They like to steal gold, but I guess the idea is if you let a thief train hard enough. I guess like the little hidden story or metaphor behind it, if metaphor is the right term to use, is that they can become goodly knights. And in this game, it just shows like when they get to level 10, you let them train past that, they can become knights, or level 3 knights. There's my flies. We got another fly, but he's probably just gonna go and die. Where the hell are you thinking? You're gonna fucking die. Just go and train.
Your creatures are under attack.
My beetles don't go train first. You can only pick up 8 creatures at a time, and certain creatures will immediately go and do certain working tasks if you
Your
want to
minions
start.
are winning a battle.
So like the beetles don't do anything. The demon spawns, if you have training them, they'll go straight for that. And flies, they just like to scout around. Really, you have to force certain creatures to do things that you want, and that's if they can do that. Where is the Lord of the Land? It's around here somewhere. He might be over here. Yep, there he is. Go ahead and dig that out.
Your creatures are under attack.
There are certain spells that you can use as offensive, and you can attack them.
Your creatures are falling in battle.
You bastard.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy. Your minions are winning the battle. You have conquered this realm.
So go ahead and leave, that way I can go and help my pops. Come on.
Dark Anna. The surviving citizens have more on their plates than a demon spawn with 3 dead adventurers to munch. Not that many citizens have survived as such.
Alright.
Water-dreamed war. A region of pointless frolicking and endless pleasure. No one here understands the true meaning of suffering and random shocking violence meted out arbitrarily.
Alright, so that's it for now. I will come back and maybe continue making videos of Let's Play Dungeon Keeper, or I might jump to another game. Who knows, but more to come. Take care for now. Bye-bye.